Hey everyone, here are my thoughts and opinions on the Samsung Watch Ultra versus A5 Pro. So they both have pretty much the same screen size, as you can see here. The biggest difference is the Ultra is going to be bigger because it has this extra bits around the actual screen. But otherwise, screen-wise, they're about the same. Screen-wise, this one will get brighter than the Pro, but personally, I have them at not even half brightness, and they're both more than fine on brightness, outside or inside. And then going off of the screen a bit more, they are both nice and beautiful looking displays. So we're going to like our activity stuff here. I mean, they both look really, really good. Like these displays are nice bright or nice and black, nice and white. They're nice. They're just overall very nice displays on these smartwatches. I don't think anybody will have any issues with either of them. Going over the way they look, I do think these do look quite a bit different. You have, I would say the 5 Pro is more of a ruggedly nice, fancier looking watch than this is. I think this is more just a rugged looking watch like it's supposed to be. I mean, it's supposed to be more of a rugged, outdoorsy, active watch. So I do think they do look quite a bit different. Thickness wise, they are both pretty thick watches. I mean, they are both pretty big watches as well. But I do like, this is the titanium gray version on the Ultra here. I do really like these orange accents. And orange there, white there. I think this thing looks really nice. And you also have this spot here, which I believe is for the siren, amongst other things. In back of them, you have this nice big newer sensor as well. And then, of course, you do have 3 buttons here on the Ultra. 5 Pro, I do think, again, looks nice. I think it might look a little bit fancier in a way, where the Ultra, I think it looks a bit more rugged. But this, you only have 2 buttons with a bit of red around the bottom of the top button there. Just silver, or in my case, the titanium, I guess you'd call this. Button on the bottom. You don't have anything crazy going on like you do with the Ultra over here. And the back, very similar looking to the Ultra, but it is a little bit of a different sensor, a little bit newer sensor. Both of these are titanium, and then both have sapphire lenses. The Ultra does have this extra button, which you can set up to do different things. I have it set up to do the flashlight, which is nice in the middle of the night, so I don't hurt myself going to the bathroom or whatever, where this does not have that. Both of them do have the top and bottom so that you can do different things. So like I have both of them hooked up to do Samsung Pay on the bottom. And then right now I have them both on Bixby on top, which I need to change, but I've yet to do so. Then of course both of these will do go home, hit the top one, or they'll go back if you hit the bottom one. Actual usability on these, the Ultra is going to be a little bit faster than the 5 Pro. So I'm just scrolling through things. It is definitely a little bit faster. It's not insanely amount faster, but it is definitely a little bit faster. Probably won't notice if you're not using them side by side, but it is something that Ultra is a little bit faster. Like you see there, opening up the calculator is definitely a little bit faster doing so. The Ultra also has a little bit less lag to it as well. So I guess I'm going through here, you'll see there's just a little bit more laggage on the 5 Pro. Nothing bad, but it's something to note. I know some people do mention it. Again, I don't really notice it unless I am using it along with the Ultra. Next, let's talk about battery life. So for my use, I have always on display turned on. I am just a little bit under half brightness. I will show you guys with the 5 Pro here. I actually have the Ultra a tiny bit brighter, but you guys can see I have the Ultra about there, a little bit brighter on the Ultra, but both of them are a bit under half on brightness. Both of them have, of course, notifications turned on. Both of them have, again, always on display turned on, but I have to either tap them or hit the buttons to turn on, not do the gesture to turn on the display all the way. Both of them have other sensors turned on, everything like that, sleep tracking. Again, I'm getting 2 days and 2 nights. So I'll charge it up in the morning, get through that day, get through that night, next day, next night. Then the following day, I have to charge it up. That is the same for both of them. Again, that is my own use. You do not turn on always on display. You do different things, you'll get different usage. But I'm able to get about 2 days and 2 nights out of both of them. And then I also do maybe 20-30 minutes of exercise as well each day. Something I just want to mention real fast is the bands on the Ultra here is a lot easier to get on and off. They now have this button on here, so you gotta make sure you press it in all the way. It just pops off. It has this very weird looking mechanism now on here. Press it in again to pop it on in, and it is done. Whereas with the 5 Pro, now I have different bands on here than normal, but they usually have this type of mechanism where you have to kind of press this thing over, and it's just kind of a big pain depending on the watch band itself. Some are easier to get on, some are harder, but overall these are a lot harder to get on the 5 Pro than they are on the Ultra. The Ultra is just awesome. You just press it in, pop it off, press it in, pop it back on. So much easier. It's hard to explain through the video unless you actually try doing this yourself. These things are a pain in the butt for the most part to get on. Off isn't too bad, but getting them on is terrible. Quickly talk about exercising here. So I've just been doing walks, runs, and hikes, maybe a few miles at a time. I think the most I've done is like 4 miles on them. Again, both on accuracy are about the same. This does have, I think it's the dual band accuracy or frequency. On the Ultra, it's supposed to be more accurate than on the 5 Pro. I do not hike where there are dense trees or there are buildings, like in a city, something like that. I do not hike like that. I'm pretty much out in the open for the most part, just your general hiking trail or running on suburb streets. And I have no issues with accuracy on both these. Both these connect to GPS incredibly fast. I mean, talking 5 seconds less. Sometimes I'll turn them on before I even leave the house, and a couple seconds later they'll be connected to GPS before I even leave the house. It's pretty crazy. But again, both of them are about the same for accuracy as far as I'm concerned. Which seems to be pretty accurate because they are both about as, I get the same distance as I get with my Garmin FX Gen 2 Pro. So they both seem to be pretty decent. I'm not crazy into accuracy on GPS stuff anyway, or working out stuff anyway, but they are both pretty accurate as far as I can tell. One thing I do wish they would have though, especially with the Ultra to make it very different for working out, would be topo mapping built into these. They do not unless you're using something like Google Maps. But during a workout, there is no topo mapping, which is a bummer. So you can get that on the Apple Watch Ultra using Workout Doors app, and a bunch of Garmin, like the Garmin Phoenix or the Epic series, both have topo mapping built into them. All in all, I enjoy both of these watches. I personally don't think there is much of a difference between them. I would say if you're happy with your 5 Pro, if you already have one, I don't think there's much of a reason, except for maybe new looks and a little bit more hardcore looks to this Ultra, to upgrade. Or if you got a really good deal on it like I did, I'm spending like $250 by trading this one in. For $250, this is pretty sweet, plus the trading of this, that is not bad. But I think for $650, I don't think there's much of a difference between them. That is my own opinion. Y'all let me know what you think though. I wish they would have done more to differentiate it than this guy. I know there are other things I did not mention, but I think for the average user such as myself, there just isn't a whole lot of difference. It's really just a newer generation of the Pro. But yeah, y'all let me know what you think though. So as always, I really do appreciate you guys. Y'all let me know what you think. I do think it is worth buying if you get a good deal on it, if you already have the Pro, or if you don't have any other Samsung watch and this will be your first one. It's a pretty sweet device. Let me know what you think. Thank you all for watching. Have a good one. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.